here, which means it's 7:10 in Oakland. And where's the information, the update regarding what happened to Laney College athletic director, former football coach, former Skyline High School coach John Beam? And right now, we're receiving the same information because that information that is being regurgitated on social media and also regurgitated on what new articles are put out there that that Coach Beam is in critical condition at Highland Hospital, but we don't know what type. I mean, critical condition. How? What is he in a coma? Is he? How did we go from reports told to me and others that Coach Beam had been shot and he died to where he's in critical condition, and it seems like we're in the stasis? There's been no press conference update on the shooter. We have scant information what the shooter looks like. The officer who gave the report, OPD officer gave the report, said that he was in dark colors, dark black, dark blue, dark brown. What specifically was he wearing? And there's has to be video images around there. Is the OPD in the process of gathering that? Have they gathered it already? Can they tell us anything? Are they working on any video for us to expect uh, this morning, later today? This situation, given the gravity from a public figure standpoint that we're talking about, this situation is plain awful. It is not. It speaks to a a managerial disorganization that has come to mark almost every aspect of Oakland government, and it should not be allowed. This dysfunction should not be allowed to wash over Coach Beam, who was a stickler for detail. And uh, this is just wrong. So where we are now is, again, just afternoon, it was reported that Coach Beam was shot. It was initially reported that there was an active shooter at Laney College. Law enforcement, Oakland police arrived, determined that the shooter was not active. In other words, there was no one walking around campus with the intent to harm someone who was armed. It was reported that this person was a male. They said race undetermined. Did they actually see the person? And who actually saw him? In other words, who was it that gave the description, as scant as it is, about the shooter? It makes no sense whatsoever. And that's something they should tell us. They should say, well, are these complete? Is this complete speculation? Are we working on complete speculation as to who this person is? Um, was there some sort of shadow detail that somebody saw as a witness who didn't want to be identified? And if they didn't want to be identified, at least share the information that they gave to law enforcement or whoever did. There is a seeming, I'm not going to say disinterest because that would be really unfair, but it seems like there are people who are afraid to say exactly what happened to him. And exactly, I mean, precisely what situation he's in. And then you have people on, social media who say, well, they only want to believe it when it comes from the call letter media. And that's ridiculous because the call letter media doesn't know anything different than you or I. And Oakland is a small town, and so you have to rely on people who have special relationships with those involved. That's the way you gather the information. You have to know those people. And a lot of those folks aren't awake yet or don't know anything, and so it's early. But by now, considering the fact that this happened just afternoon yesterday, and uh, there should have been some drive to really button this up as quickly as possible and not put out very vague information like what's critical condition, what does that look like, um, is he, what exactly, what state is Coach Beam in, does anyone need, do you need a blood donor, right? Is it such that you need a blood donor? There are a lot of questions regarding Coach Beam's situation that are not being answered. I sent an email this morning to OPD, um, and haven't gotten an answer back at all yet, because, well, it's 7:12. They don't open until 8 o'clock. But on a situation like this, shouldn't they be 24 hours? Uh, so this is very, very confusing. What is clear is that Coach Beam was a national figure. This was on national news. It continues to be in the national eye, which means Oakland is in the national eye. It it speaks to how powerful a spirit he was, and the just the pure rightness of what he was doing for people. A true angel on earth, and which makes what he's going through right now, or went through right now, just that much harder to deal with. Okay, just that much harder to deal with. And I say this: look, regardless of how bad the information is to accept, put the information out there and let us deal with it as the public. And I can understand where family members, they don't want the public to know certain things, but the trouble is that we're talking about a public figure of enormous stature in John Beam, and so you have to let go a little bit and allow the public to know, because the public has a right to know. Otherwise, it causes too much dysfunction between areas like the police and media and public, and that can seep into other areas of 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 operation of the city of Oakland, where trust is eroded. All right, because people are lying about things. That's not that's not a good situation at all. It's not a good situation at all. So where we are right now is we don't know anything more concretely except one thing: time has passed and something has happened. Well, those are two things. One, time has passed. Two, we know something has happened. Even if if he's sleeping, are they operating on him? What's the surgery team look like? I don't know that either. Um, what is going on? What is going on? That okay, that that has to be asked. What is going on? Um, what is going on? I'm searching around trying to find more information. I went to his Facebook page. There's a lot of tributes coming in by people who have known him since they were kids, or people who have literally Coach Beam to thank for them getting back on track. The stories of how Coach Beam has touched the lives of so many people are, to say that they're heartwarming is an understatement. It just a tremendous reflection of a tremendous man um, who who was a true pillar. And that's the way John Beam was always described to me, before even when I first heard of the man. And whew, or, but is there Here's the other thing. At Laney College, is there a memorial set up someplace? Is there a photograph of it? I haven't even seen that yet. I know there's got to be one someplace. Show it to us. People putting up cards and tributes about the coach, right? Where is all that? All right. I'm not close enough to go down there, but somebody is. So it's just too poorly handled. There should be a special detail for this sort of thing. The Oakland Police should have a special detail, a way to handle information regarding public figures, where there's constant questions and constant curiosity, so that the information can be dealt with. We can't get away with saying, well, that person's just like anybody else. No, John Beam is not just like anybody else. That is unacceptable. You have to deal with what is. You have to deal with the reality of the situation, not slough it off because of maybe you have some insecurity regarding giving this man his due. Others don't. All right. This is a national story, and if we don't get it right as a city, it could destroy us in little ways, and those are the worst ways of terms of reputation. We need to make sure that this is right, and right now we're not doing that. We have a lot of people who are so, and I understand why, devastated, broken up, heartbroken, frantically crying, that the city is in mourning. Oakland is in collective mourning, and the soul of Oakland is aching. There's no other way to put it than that. No other way to put it than that. I'm going to conduct another search and see if there's anything out here. So I type John Beam Laney here. I don't get anything on way of an update. The only thing that I get right now is this is what I put out there, okay? Right here, right? 2 claps ready. There, 2 claps ready. Coach John Beam update. Where is info on what happened to Oakland Laney College AD and shooter, right? What about that? Okay? Where is it? And so if we go top, we have this. We've had that for how long? And if I click on return to get this to refresh, see if there's anything above it. There isn't. And Lisbeth says, now Oakland is a failed city. School shootings, no remaining pro sports teams, mismanagement, okay? Then Go Team Sports Network, John Beam, U.S. football coach, featured in a Netflix series shot at Laney College. Again and again, all right? And so now this has become a political issue nationally. Gavin Newsom, is this your state, Gavin? Keep up the good work, okay? Wow. And so we have to do better fast. Okay? 10 minutes ago, this is the same information that was put out last night. Critical condition at Oakland Hospital, Highland Hospital, okay? And the shooter remains at large. This effectively tells us nothing, folks. And yet there's something going on. This tells us nothing. And this was 10 minutes ago. All right? This tells us nothing. What does the shooter look like? The shooter remains at large. All right? And so it's the same information again and again. All right? And now we have people saying we deserve nothing. It's 19 minutes ago. So the reputation is setting in because this is a national story. And yes, say a prayer for Coach Beam, who is in critical condition. But where is the statement by Highland Hospital physicians? All right? Where is that? Okay. Authorities have not released the victim's identity. And Laney College also stopped short of confirming names, saying that only a senior member of the athletic staff had been shot. And that was 25 minutes ago, all right? There's too much withholding of information. Again, I was initially told, and I believe you saw the video, I was initially told that Coach Beam was shot dead. I got a text from a friend that came up early this morning while I was sleeping, confirming that, saying that. Is he? This is not right. This is not the way this should be handled. Okay? We get the constant wave of suspect not identified. Identify the suspect. Anyone out there, where's the reward money? Where is all this? All right? This is not the way things should go. Not the way things should go, folks. Okay? And I don't want to get caught up in repeating myself at this point, but that's what's happening because there's nothing else out there, and I'm still looking. All right, subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com and OaklandNewsOnline.com. I'm going to keep looking and searching, and any information I get, I'm going to find and put it out there. See ya. Any good information.